All right, y'all, what's going on? Goofy Rexy here, and hope everybody is doing well. So we got a new blog post with an update in regards to the Space Viking event that's supposed to be going live here tonight. So two very important milestones. We're going to be able to get these fragments for the Space Viking event. The Electric Azer, I'm probably saying that wrong, just to be fair. And then the Interstellar Longship milestone are going to be getting an update here. So there are some updates to the information published in last Friday's blog regarding two milestones with the intent to help streamline progress in the Space Viking event. Now, the Interstellar Longship milestone stated that arena wins would reward 300 points and Blitz wins is 30 points. These values are now updated where you're going to be able to do either get, if you win or if you lose an arena, you'll be able to get 500 points. So more points per win. And then also you're going to be getting some more points per Blitz win as well, which I'll be honest with you is better, right? Because previously before, the numbers that we calculated was essentially you had to like max out your Blitz rotations with 30 plus wins per rotation. And then for your arena matchups, you had to actually win and you were still getting less points. You're only getting 300 points for it. So this is a little bit better, I would say, in regards to just sort of the time that will be necessary to be able to complete both the Interstellar milestone and then also, of course, the Azer Web milestone. Well, the Azer Web milestone was actually fairly easy, but they did make some updates there as well. So for the base Web Electric Azer milestone, it will now provide significantly more fragments for the lines of lightning orb. And actually, this is for like a one-day thing. It's actually not entirely correct. Previously, before you were able, if you looked at the way that they had listed it out before, for the Azer Web milestone, you would have actually gotten 12,000 fragments from doing the activities here, the raid battles. You had 257 points per raid battle, but it looks as if though maybe they're changed. But I think this was only going to be one day. This was my assumption, is that this was only going to be one day. So now, although they've made some minor changes, I'm saying here, I'm thinking that now this milestone, the reason why they made the adjustment, although it's less fragments, you're actually getting more, I think, over a 7-day period. I hope that makes sense, right? I think this milestone before, the way they had it written down, was that it was only going to be a 1-day milestone, which I think was what we saw in the data mines. But I'm assuming now that they've lessened the fragments, but they're going to make it probably part of the 7-day event so that you're going to be able to accumulate the milestones over that 7-day period. So we did some new updated calculations here that I think will give you an idea as to where you can get in the overall Space Viking milestone, because ultimately you're doing all this activity in the Azer Web milestone and also the Interstellar milestone just so that you can get enough points to get through the Space Viking milestone. And the ultimate goal that I think a lot of us were shooting for here was being able to get to milestone 29 so that you can get the Milner fragments, the 2080 Milner fragments. And we'll talk about whether or not that's possible. We'll go through some quick math here on that. So as you guys know, I like to do, I write things down in Notepad because that's just easier for me. And one of these days, I'll have my wife doctor up an Excel spreadsheet that makes this incredibly easy for you guys to read. But I'm going to take my camera off just so it's a little bit easier for you guys to go through this here and to read. And we'll kind of eventually kind of work our way down here. But for the Space Viking milestone, we did some updated math here. For the Electric Azer Web milestone, like I said, I'm still saying I'm not sure if this is per day, but I'm assuming that because you're going to be able to get now a total of 7,000 fragments per day by only doing 5 raid attacks. So 5 raid attacks will get you the 7,000 fragments per day. If this is going to be a per day event, then over the duration of the event, you're going to get 49,000 points, 49,000 fragments towards that Space Viking milestone, which is a total of actually 24 orbs, like 24.5 orbs in total that you'll get. Well, you can't get half of an orb or 0.5 of an orb, whatever, you get the point. That's what you're going to be able to get there. And then for the Interstellar milestone, which is significantly easier now for you to complete, you can get all the fragments. There are a total of 70,000 fragments in that milestone, which is a total of 35 orbs. Now with the arena win or loss, I should have put win or loss here, by just doing your 5 attacks per day, you'll be able to do 500 times 5, times 7 is going to give you a total of 17,500 points over that 7-day period. For the 7,500 points towards the Interstellar milestone, which means that in order to be able to complete the milestone in total for Interstellar, you would need to get a remaining 40,500 points that you're going to need to accumulate and get from Blitz. The math breakdown on that, because you're getting 100 points per Blitz win, that you actually only need 405 Blitz wins over a 7-day period, which is a total of 57.8 Blitz wins per day, which of course I'm going to round up to 58 Blitz wins per day, which means that you would only need to do get 30 wins. If you were doing 30 wins per rotation, you would only need to get 1.9 rotations per day, or do 1.9 rotations per day, which of course I'm going to round up to 2 rotations. Of course, it's going to be a little bit more challenging if you're a player that has a smaller roster. Someone had mentioned in chat here that they can only win with 15 teams per Blitz rotation. So of course that may be like 5 rotations for them. So it's at least somewhat easier to do, I think, because previously before, if you're an earlier player, you had no chance really of doing this, depending on where your rosters are. But of course, if you're even much smaller than just being able to get 50 wins per day, that's going to create quite some challenge there as well. But if you do that, the total that you're gonna be able to get through the entire Interstellar milestone, and if you add up all the fragments that you get from the electric Azer web milestone, and then also from the Interstellar milestone, that's going to give you a total of 119,000 fragments, which, if we jump back into game, we can see the Space Viking milestone right now. What we needed to figure out was how many points are you getting per fragments that you're going to be able to get for the Interstellar, for the Space Viking milestone. It looks like you're getting one fragment is going to give you 1 point. So if we're doing it that way, if we jump back to the Space Viking milestone, where you at least need to get to you at least want to get to milestone 29 to get these 2,080 million of fragments, it looks as if though that is going to be hard for you to do unless you're willing to spend money, because for your free-to-play version of the events, the Interstellar web milestone and the Azer web milestone, you are not going to be able to do that, which is kind of like a feel bad, because I think the way they had it before, if you were an endgame player and you were willing to do 8 Blitz rotations per day, at least you could get to milestone 29. Now you're only going to get 119,000 points, which is going to leave you at milestone 28 only. So you won't be able to get these extra 2,080 million fragments, which I think definitely does sort of feel bad, because of course a lot of us want to be able to complete that milestone again a second time, right? So that we can get the additional bio gear, the augmented pieces for the mystic gear, the armory 16 orbs. A lot of us want to be able to do that, but and these Milner fragments may ultimately be the reason why some of us may not be able to do it. So that portion of it definitely does feel bad. But I guess the one thing I can look at and say is at least the Interstellar web milestone, at least the Azer web milestones, those are fairly easy to complete, free to play. And there are some pretty good rewards that you're going to be able to get from those milestones, right? Like, I mean, the Elite 5 credits will be nice. The augmented origin gear is good. Some Armory 15 orbs and some Armory 14 orbs fragments that you can get here. So I guess from that perspective, at least you're getting some good stuff there, but it just kind of feels bad that you're not going to be able to get all the way up to milestone 29 free to play to get the 2,080 million fragments. So I don't know, man. It was at least obtainable the other way, but just incredibly grindy. At least this one, you can, if you're an endgame player, you can probably do like 5 rotations 2 days in a row and then get this over with and move on with your life, or 5 rotations 1 day or whatever, and kind of just get things done, right? And then kind of just move on and not worry about it anymore. So and then for your Azer web milestone, you're going to do raid attacks anyways. You're probably going to do more than 5 per day anyways, right? So at least you'll be able to complete that fairly easy. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of sort of the changes that they've made. I'll turn my camera back on. But I mean, I guess it is what it is, right? Hopefully towards the end of the event, it doesn't really hurt us that much. We'll have to see. That's the thing about these month-long events, right? Is that you don't really see what you're short on until you get to the very end of it. Listen, guys, appreciate you watching the video. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, guys, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. Bye.